Hello, this is Mikado, and this is a patch rundown for patch 1.9 in the game of Fortnite. So let's get into it. This particular patch I like to coin a quality of lifestyle patch. This is a patch that's just going to enable players to have a much smoother and better gaming experience overall. With that being said, the major changes that we're going to be seeing in this patch are as follows. The first one is a change to the launch pads. The old launch pads were very inconsistent. They didn't even necessarily center themselves on the floor or the tile that you were placing them on, but rather on the corner. The new style jump pad is going to center itself like every other trap does. At the exact same time, enemy players are now going to be able to use it as well as friendly players, so keep that in mind. With this new launch pad, you're going to be able to launch yourself in the air and be able to go in for an aerial assault. It allows you to move and transition across the map in a new way that has never been seen before. At the exact same time, I see this as more of a situational item, not something that people are going to be pining and fawning for, saying, oh my god, guys, we can't win the game unless we have a launch pad. No, but this does add an additional layer. This does add that extra piece that may be the difference between a win and a loss. So I do like the fact that the devs are adding new content into the game. The next thing that we're going to see is a increased sensitivity on controllers, particularly for PlayStation players or Xbox players, console kings, if we'll name them that. You're going to see a quality of lifestyle change. You know, many people were complaining that the sniper scope was not fast enough. People weren't getting the headshots that they wanted. This is just going to be a quality of lifestyle change that you're going to enjoy quite a bit. Next thing we're going to see, and for me, this is the biggest part of this particular patch, introducing per playlist loot. Thank you very much, devs, for listening to the community. Thank you very much. Medium ammo stack increased from 10 to 14 on duos. Fantastic. Medium ammo stack increased from 10 to 18 on squads. I see this all the time, and it's very, very common because assault rifles and scars are the most used weapon in this game, and not having ammo to be able to be in a firefight, particularly in the mid to late game, is extremely excruciating. Being able to actually have ammo, to be able to fight, to not be hindered, to not be stuck there, you know, just holding on to every single bullet, just praying that you guys can make it to the very end. No, that is no longer a problem. At the exact same time, I don't really understand these increments of 10 to 14. Okay, why not just do 10 to 15? Why not just do 10 to 20? I don't really understand why they went with 14 and 18. Maybe the devs can explain that, but at the same time, I am very happy that they're doing this. I hope they actually increase the loot a little bit more. Maybe even increase it to, you know, maybe 15 and 20. Why not 20 or 25? Might be too much, but at the same time, I love ammo, I love firefights, I love gameplay, and I love fun. And ultimately, this is what's going to add. Keep in mind, this change is only going to be implemented, at least of the current patch. It's going to be ammo cans, treasure chests, and supply drops. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get it when you pick up the ammo originally. So for example, you land onto a house, you jump in there, you see the weapon, you're playing duos or you're playing squads, you grab the weapon, and there's always that 10 bullets right next to it. Those bullets are still going to stay at 10. They're not going to get changed from 14 or 18, but I'm sure that will change in the coming patches. So next thing we're going to talk about, movement speed is reduced by 20% when swinging a harvesting tool. I don't necessarily understand this change. I understand that people are complaining that they're dying by melee weapons, but at the exact same time, if you do only have your melee weapon and you're fighting against somebody with a gun, you need 9 attacks in order to kill someone. You have to hit someone 9 times in order to actually kill their entire health bar. That doesn't even include shields or anything like that. So if you're talking about just straight 100 health, you got to hit somebody 9 times. So imagine if somebody already has a weapon, you're already at a disadvantage. So the only thing that you could do is run away. But what if you're like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try to kill this guy. I'm going to jump. I'm going to bob. I'm going to weave. Maybe I'll survive. Maybe I'll kill him. Maybe I'll have an epic play. That is no longer possible because the person that's shooting can now move faster than you can swing your weapon and chase them. So I don't really necessarily understand this. At the exact same time, feels like more of a casual player change. You know, people were dying by melee weapons. It can be very frustrating. Don't get me wrong. I've died by a melee weapon. It's very frustrating when it does happen to you. But imagine being in the other person's shoes. You know, you don't have a gun. The other person does have a gun. You're getting meleeed to death. You know, you should be able to land those shots. So don't really understand the change, but at the same time, I do understand why casual players might not necessarily like it. It is now possible to build in many grass-covered areas, as well as players can now build inside shallow bodies of water, such as Loot Lake. Thank you, God. I think I've had, you know, a half dozen games where the circle ends up in Loot Lake, and it pretty much means, you know, the team that can get to the center of Loot Lake, that can get to the house first, usually wins the game, because it is nearly impossible to tread through the water, attack people who have, built up walls, this, that, and the other. I'm really glad that they're allowing people to build there now. It's really just going to make the smoothness of the game change drastically. Supply drop health bar has been tweaked to reduce screen clutter, minor bug fixes, performance issues, bug fixes, yada, 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 yada. Okay, so again, major 4 things. Launchpad, new way to attack players, new way to get to sky bases, just an overall situational playstyle. I don't see it as a major change, but it is nice that they're changing up items, seeing that certain items aren't necessarily working. Now they're adding a new way to attack people and a new way to bring yourself across the map. Cool, kind of cool. Next thing, increased sensitivity changes for you console kings. A much needed improvement. A lot of people were saying that, hey, I can't snipe fast enough, I can't move my scope fast enough. Problem solved. Boom. Next thing you're going to talk about here, boom, the big thing here for me personally, medium ammo stack increased 10 to 14 on duos. Medium ammo stack increased from 10 to 18 on squads. Fantastic. Thank you, devs. Thank you for listening. We want firefights. We want fun. We want the ability to be able to get in those wars in the end game, and running out of ammo is the last thing we want to think about when we're playing this game. So thank you very much. Movement speed reduced by 20% when swinging a harvesting tool. Again, I don't necessarily understand this change, but from a casual player's perspective, I can kind of understand it. And again, just minor bug fixes, this, that, and the other. Once again, a quality of life style patch. If you enjoyed this rundown, this is Mikado. This is patch 1.9. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and a subscribe. And as always, I'll see you next time. Peace.